Alright guys, this will be game number 3. It has been tied up by 1-1. Micro has successfully won game number 2 back on Jade from that kind of wacky like 50-minute video, 50-minute VOD. So anyway, spawning in the bottom left, it will be will be Reps Plumbum, so that'll be pretty awesome. I just want to make sure I got that right. Yeah, white Plumbum. Spawning in the top right, it will be our purple Zerg. Now this is where it gets a little interesting. It will be actually 7X's or 7X inactive teams. Pofigu or Pofigu. I'm gonna call him Po, as I called him in the 2v2 thing. So Po will be our purple. Our purple Zerg. So I think what happened is since the game was so long, he may have had to leave, and this is just what the end of tournament match was going to be. This is something. So I'll be interested if Po will be able to win. Po is going to be averaging 118 this game, compared to the 253 that we're going to be seeing coming out of Plumbum. So Plumbum is, you know, a pretty good, you know, Zerg player. Ultimately lost, but he's creative, and the fact that he went those that. I'm not sure if it's standard, but he went brutaling last game for the Queens, which, you know, it's unorthodox. You know, it may not be used for a specific reason because it may not work. But I quickly go to. All right, guys, we're back. Sorry, just gonna get a new Coke and had to go to the bathroom real quick. So, because Coca-Cola is occasionally good when you're really kind of thirsty for some awesome. For some awesome cast. So Othello. So pretty, you know, standard main, you know, pretty decently large Hydra and something or other. But we'll see a macro hatch, you know, extending the creep a little bit. No real reason, but your natural is there. Destructible rock / power generator. The choke is still pretty big though. Map is kind of actually over huge, pretty big. But, you know, nothing really out of the ordinary. So you have a bigger choke, so a little bit harder to hold off. But I think as long as you hold that, like this area off, you should be okay. But your middle line might be a little exposed. Then you can take a third over here, which is a lot more exposed, but you do get a gas, or you can take a gasless third. Either way, that's a little bit more safe. You know, as you only have to wall this area off, which is, you know, it just takes longer to get down there, you know, versus, you know, this base is so much more susceptible to, you could go behind the mineral line, etc. So, and that's pretty much the map here. I mean, it'll be the same thing for any of the other mains right there. So, you know, otherwise, but I mean, I don't think we're gonna. A ZVZ ends up being really quick anyway, but I'll be interested. I mean, we might be seeing a late game ZVZ, but in my experience of like the tens of thousands of them I've seen, more like 20. You'll see they tend to be really short, but you know, we'll see a macro hatch coming out of a Po right now, compared to we do a macro hatch also coming out of Plumbum, but Plumbum will be getting up their layer right about now, and same thing with a little bit more delayed coming out of Po right now, but nothing out of the too extreme. We'll be getting a nice arc, a nice little wall off coming out of Plumbum right here, but also, you know, he'll get his own one right there as well right there. Has a little bit more links here. Might be going some more aggression right here, which can work, but we're seeing pretty much identical builds coming out of both Zerg players right now, and we'll be seeing speed just initiated compared to no speed actually yet for Plumbum right here. Maybe going for super fast Spire. I mean, he can afford it, but I think he might be going Spire before speed, if at all. So we should be just. Oh man, that was funny, but we should see a Spire coming up pretty fast, if not like now. Where's the Spire? Where is the Spire? It should be coming out like right now. You know, a little delayed, but you know, in the end, it's not really gonna matter that much. His Slayer is about to complete, and he does have enough for a Spire as well. It's still droning up pretty hard, actually, compared to, you know, he's droning. Well, it's the same. You know, in most DVZs, you do not see this much droning most of the time. But you see a lot more lings by this point in the game. So both players are playing more of a macro approach to this game. So we might be seeing actually a longer game right here. But we'll see, you know, Fast Spire coming out of Po as well as coming out of Plumbum right here. So Plumbum will be able to get the Muta out. But you might be thinking, oh, Plumbum won now because he got the Muta out. But you know, keep in mind, Othello is a pretty gosh darn huge map. If we're just looking at the scroll distance right here, I mean, that's pretty long. So, you know, it's a pretty big map, so you're not, it's the rush distance. By the time, if you have 4 meter out, he's going to have 4 meter out, if he's going meter. But, now, is he looking to expand here? He might be. He does have a lot of links here, so he might either play with defensive links or aggressive links, depending on what he wants to do here. And now we're seeing these high link numbers right here. That's what we'd like to see. And speed, yeah, he is also getting speed right now, as it is, you know, Plumbum is a little bit more behind in his speed to compensate. Oh, that's why he went for that. He wanted more gas. Interesting enough, kind of weird tactic, but fully saturating that off of with 5 drones. I guess he wanted gas really bad. You know, compared to the 1 gas that Plumbum is mining off. So, you know, it's interesting tactic. He will get up his defensive Scourge because he does have it a little bit more delayed, and that's why his Scourge are pretty good against Muta. But we'll have to see if Plumbum's Scourge on Scourge actually, but he will also have his own Muta, so he should actually, I think, no, actually, it'll have to come down to the, you know, micro of both players right here. He does, you know, Plumbum actually does have a bit more Scourge than his opponent right here, but we'll have to see if he'll get enough of them. Keep in mind, he is getting off of double fully saturated gases right now, so, you know, put that in mind. I guess he just knows, like, the distance of that actually going on. But we'll see Ling, but he'll see that gas is being optimized right now, oddly enough, but I'll be interested on how Plumbum will react. In reaction to it, he's gonna go for an aggressive attack, it looks like, and we're seeing a lot of air on air right here, but that is a lot more lings, I think, coming out of Plumbum right here compared to this, and also he doesn't have a really good arc as well, so that's going to be pretty hard to deal with as well right here, and it looks like he's going to be going the main at the same time. He might be counter pushing with the lings over here as well. That might be the choice, I think, the choice of attack here, but I'm not sure if Poe knows about this, so he looks like he might want to go with the Muta and Scourge to his main, but you know, that's going to leave him very, very susceptible to that as well. And what is he continuing? He's continuing to produce more Muta out on top of this as well, and getting +1 air carapace, but will it be in time though? Will be sniping off an Overlord here, which will supply block him, which is not where he wants to be right now. And oh, he's losing a couple of his Muta here without the Scourge here. Ling and Ling battle happening at the same time over here, but I believe Plumbum is actually winning that engagement right now as well, which he looks like he is at the same time, but he's also losing the air battle as well. I don't know what Poe can do at this point in time. I don't really know how, and I don't know what that really means in Russian, but now he's taking the mineral line, and in a mirror match, when you're not mining when your opponent is, that's really bad. And he doesn't nearly have enough Muta to compensate the amount of Muta that is in his base attacking his lair right now, and you know, Carapace was a good idea, but you know, this push came too quickly. And you know, he's mining, he's long distance mining, but I mean, at what cost? He'll be coming in here for round 2, and he can still kill off free reign with the Overlord here. And we're even seeing nice little Muta micro coming in as well, coming out of Plumbum right here. Plumbum, excuse me, not Plumbum, but Plumbum. He's going to be going for his own, you know, counterattack with a couple of links, but they will both melt away simultaneously. And he's still, I was going to say, if he's still optimizing that gas, would be pretty silly. But more Scourges coming out just to try to, you know, win this game. But there's, sadly, he doesn't have the links to deal with this. He doesn't have the Sunkings to deal with it. And even a Scourge dodging as well here. And will he be able to do it again? No. Scourge will connect. All of them will. And no, not even a GG. Just Ice will. But no GG coming out of Poe right there. Pofigu. So I think what, you know, made him lose the game was doing that. I think he droned up too much compared to his opponent. I mean, he needed 5 more drones, and he wasn't nearly getting as much minerals, so he wasn't getting as many lings out. So he was going for mainly main air, so maybe going into the mid game, this might have set him up a little bit better. But, you know, do they mean high ling count coming out of Plumbum? I think that's kind of what put him back. So, I mean, if we look at the score real quick, I also failed to mention the fitness of the game for last game, but we're seeing our Plumbum was able to, you know, had more units, same structure, so it doesn't really matter. Resources, you know, Pofigu was a little ahead, but fairly slightly. But you know, you know, pretty similar for resources-wise, but, I mean, he had more gas to take it for us, looking at resources right here. We're seeing gas mining was nearly around 200 more than Plumbum. But in the end, was that really worth it? I'm not really quite sure. Minerals mined was, you know, the equivalent to that is 3 less meter or a dozen links. So keep in mind that plays a big difference as well for that. I mean, he could have gotten more Scourge, but I mean, we saw that Plumbum's micro Scourge dodging is pretty top notch, as we could see. But not to say if he had 12 Scourge coming out, he probably couldn't dodge all of them. So. And we also saw, you know, even though he spent more, he still lost. I like these little tabs. Sometimes they help. Not nearly as depth as StarCraft 2 tabs, but good enough and nevertheless good analysis anyway. But thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for tuning in. And this was the end of series. So if we quickly recap right now what we have in this series between 7X inactive team and the Reps Russian Fun Pro Gaming team, or Reps. 7X has failed to win Series 1 between Cardinal, 7X's Cardinal, and against Reps Defi. Defi came up on top of that, and then we saw Pofigu or Po and Just Ice versus Defi and Plumbum, which we've seen these players coming up in the 2v2, series, which is one of them, and that went to Reps Clan as well. So, and now game number 2. Things aren't looking too good, and I believe by right now, they can't come back. Yeah. So, thanks for watching, guys, and have a nice day.